the Fabian Society and the Islamization of Europe. There are many cultures on planet Earth, but only one has proven capable of sustained scientific and technological progress, giving birth to civilization. This civilization is called European because its formation and development are linked to the activities of representatives of the European race. In recent decades, we have witnessed two destructive processes threatening the very foundations of European civilization: mass immigration to Europe of anti-civilization ethnic groups from Asia and Africa, and the Islamization of Europe, since the overwhelming majority of migrants are Muslim. The first process leads to the replacement of representatives of the European race by anti-civilization ethnic groups, while the second leads to the spread of Islam in the European space. The anti-civilizational nature of Islam was succinctly formulated by the French Orientalist André Servier in his book Islam and the Psychology of Muslims. Quote, "Islam was not a torch but an extinguisher. Wherever it has dominated, it has broken the impulse towards progress and checked the evolution of society." End of quote. These processes, dubbed Islamization, are not the result of the blind forces of history. They are being implemented by specific supranational structures, such as the leadership of the European Union, which has established quotas for the admission of migrants for each state, the World Bank, which has made the admission of migrants a condition for the provision of loans, and the leadership of the UN, which is forcing European countries to accept refugees from Asia and Africa. Understanding that these structures act merely as agents of someone else's will, many are asking questions. Whose plan is it to destroy European civilization, the greatest phenomenon to have existed on planet Earth in all of recorded history? Is there an organization that initiated and is directing the process of Islamization? The answers to these questions are contained in the book by lawyer, diplomat, and writer Ioan Ratiu, The Milner-Fabian Conspiracy, published in the UK in 2012. A large-scale study conducted by the author shows that the Fabian Society, the leading intellectual center of the British ruling class, is the initiator and key driving force behind the process of Islamization and other similar projects that are destructive to civilization. Fabian propaganda of Islam in Great Britain and continental Europe dates back to the early 20th century. Fabian ideologists Herbert Wells and Bernard Shaw praised Islam in their works. Among the most famous Fabian apologists for Islam were Annie Besant and Bertrand Russell. The Fabians used Sufism as a tool for popularizing Islam, having served as a Trojan horse for centuries, facilitating the spread of Islam into non-Muslim countries. Particular patronage was given to Idris Shah, an impostor of Indian origin and one of the main inspirers of the Sufi movement in Britain and abroad. In the academic field, too, the promotion of Islam can be traced back to Fabian-dominated institutions like the Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies, the School of Oriental and African Studies, the Centre of Islamic Studies, University of London, and the London School of Economics. These institutions conduct courses, seminars, lectures, and other events aimed at promoting advanced ideas in the field of relations with the Muslim world. The most effective instrument of Islamization was the legislative activity of the Fabians through the British Labour Party, which they controlled. In 1948, the Labour Prime Minister and Fabian Clement Attlee passed the British Nationality Act, granting all residents of the British Empire the right to enter, reside, and work in the UK without any restrictions. In 1966, Home Secretary and former Fabian Society Chairman Roy Jenkins, a Labour MP, initiated a shift in government policy from the assimilation of immigrants to state-sponsored multiculturalism. In 1997, New Labour, led by Fabian Tony Blair, cemented its policy of mass immigration, aimed at turning Britain into a multicultural society. Using the Labour Party they control, the Fabians are also actively promoting Muslims to key government positions. In 1998, Pakistani-born member of the Labour Party Nazir Ahmed became the first Muslim in Britain to be awarded a life peerage. In 2007, Pakistani-born member of the Labour Party Shahid Malik became the first Muslim to hold a ministerial post, becoming Secretary of State for International Development. He subsequently also served as Justice Minister and Interior Minister. In 2008, Labour appointed Tunisian immigrant Mohamed Ali Harat as Scotland Yard's counter-extremism and terrorism advisor, despite the fact that he was a co-founder of the Islamic Front, which advocated the establishment of an Islamic State in Tunisia and was wanted by Interpol for terrorism-related matters. In 2009, Labour appointed Muslim Aqil Ahmed as the BBC's head of religion and ethics and as religion editor for Religion TV. Since the publication of Ratiou's book, the rise of Muslims to key positions in government and local government in Britain has only expanded and accelerated. In 1951, the Fabians, seeking to establish control over the global left, revived the Socialist International, locating its headquarters in London. The International, uniting 132 left-wing parties from over 100 countries, became a powerful instrument in the process of Islamization of Europe. With the help of the Spanish Socialists, the Fabians in 1995 initiated the Euro-Mediterranean Partnership process, designed to develop and strengthen Europe's relations with the Muslim countries of North Africa and the Middle East. In 1998, under Fabian Prime Minister Tony Blair, the Secret Intelligence Service, in collaboration with al-Qaeda militants, was tasked with training and arming the Islamic Kosovo Liberation Army. In 2000, the Fabians elected a representative to the post of president of the Barcelona Center for International Affairs, which trains Arabists who are at the forefront of the Islamization of Europe. A few words should be said about Fabian tactics. Unlike the Milner Group, the Fabian Society, while remaining closed, is not a secret organization. The works of Fabian ideologists are published and publicly available. The location of the Society's headquarters and the composition of its membership are known. For this reason, leading Fabian ideologist Herbert Wells characterized Fabian subversion as an open conspiracy. However, the Fabians' tactics, based on operating through controlled international, political, social, educational, and scientific organizations, allow them to remain virtually invisible to the general public. As Ioan Ratiou notes, quote, "Fabianism is the world's most influential social, political, economic, and cultural movement. At the same time, it is one of the least known, at least to the wider public. Even less known are its aims, methods, and global reach. This is entirely intentional. Its almost invisible London headquarters is witness not only to its humble beginnings, but also to its policy of stealth. As a subversive movement, Fabianism has always and quite deliberately operated from behind the scenes." According to one of its leaders, the Fabian Society, which has fathered the movement, was organized for thought and discussion, and not for electoral action, which it left to other organizations, while encouraging its members to infiltrate and operate from within those organizations. This tactic has rendered the movement's activities and influence virtually invisible to outsiders. End of quote. Conclusion. To summarize, it can be stated that the Fabian Society is the initiator and key driving force behind the process of Islamization, aimed at the destruction of European civilization. A link to the article with sources is provided below this video. Thank you for your attention.